Welcome. Enjoy watching.
Road without her.
They say forgiveness is a door you open once, then keep holding the damn knob 'cause the wind keeps trying to slam it shut. 3 months after I chose to stay, after the dryer, after Rick, after Travis and his septic smile, things were mostly fine. Quiet. Peaceful in that suspicious way, like a calm lake right before a snapping turtle grabs your toe. Jess was back to humming. I was back on the road. Shorter hauls now, I'd cut my routes in half. Said it was to be home more, but truth is, I didn't want to be a ghost in my own marriage again. But then it started. It wasn't big. Not at first. Just a name. Colton. She said it like it was normal. Like it belonged in our life. "Oh, Colton's the new manager at the co-op," she said, stirring coffee like nothing was boiling underneath. I raised an eyebrow. "Colton? Yeah. You'd like him. He's real handy." That word. Handy. Like Lloyd. Like Travis. I let it slide. One time. Then 2 days later, I saw it, a receipt in the trash. One of those fancy cafes where they draw hearts in the foam. 2 drinks. 1 croissant. That ain't a solo order. She walked in, saw me staring at it, and froze like the floor turned lava. "You think I'm doing it again," she said. I didn't answer. Because the truth is, I didn't know. And that was the worst part. Forgiveness don't mean forgetting. And some shadows look a whole lot like ghosts. That night, I lay in bed beside her, both of us staring at the ceiling like it might explain what the hell was happening. She didn't say a word. Neither did I. But I could feel her breath, slow, controlled. Like she was trying to sound asleep so I wouldn't ask. I ain't dumb. I know the signs. When a woman over-explains, it's guilt. When she undertalks? That's worse. That's calculation. In the morning, she was already dressed when I got up. Said she was heading to the co-op to drop off some homemade candles. "Didn't know you made candles now," I muttered. She kissed my cheek. "Gotta keep the hands busy." The hell does that mean? I didn't follow her. I ain't that guy. But I did drive by the co-op a few hours later. Not proud of it. Just needed to see. And there he was. Colton. Tall. Tidy. Wore a denim apron like it was tactical gear. One of those fellas who drinks oat milk and smiles with both sides of his mouth. The kind of man who learns your dog's name before yours. He was talking to Jess. Too close. Logan. Real relaxed. I watched from the cab, heart pounding like a diesel engine in fourth. Then she reached up and brushed something off his shoulder. Innocent? Maybe. But the way he looked at her? Not innocent. I drove off before I embarrassed us both. That night, I didn't say a damn thing. Just came in, took off my boots, sat at the table. She served meatloaf like it was any other Tuesday. But I could see it, the shift. We weren't in recovery anymore. We were in round 2. And the bell had just rung. I held it in for 2 whole days. 2 full damn days of smiling when I didn't mean it and pretending not to notice when she came home smelling like cedarwood and smugness. Colton. The man even sounds like a furniture brand. Then Thursday hit. I'd had a long day, spent 8 hours in traffic behind a flipped chicken truck, got cursed out by a teenager in a Prius, and spilled hot coffee on my lap so hard I saw my ancestors. When I got home, Jess was on the phone. Logan. That same soft little laugh she used to save for me, back when she still wrote my name in the fog on the bathroom mirror. I didn't say nothing. Just stood there in the hall like a silhouette of a man losing his last nerve. She hung up when she saw me. "Hey, you're early," she said. "Everything okay?" "Depends," I said, handing my hat real slow. "You talk to Colton often?" Her smile dropped. "It's for the fundraiser. He's helping me organize." "Jess, I ain't a skin for a brochure." She froze. "I seen y'all," I added. You touched his shoulder. "That's what this is about," she scoffed. "A damn piece of lint?" "It's about patterns, Jess. You think I don't remember how it started last time? First it was cigars. Then coffee. Then Travis with his septic tank and sad eyes." Her jaw tensed. "I haven't done anything wrong." I slammed my hand on the table, not proud, just honest. "You don't gotta do anything to break me. You just gotta almost. And right now, you're dangerously close to almost." She stepped back like my words had weight. "I thought we were past this," she whispered. "I thought we were, too. And for the first time since we patched things up. I didn't know if we were fixin' it. Or just buying time before it broke again." That night, the house felt like it was holding its breath, like even the walls were waiting to see who'd blink first. Jess was in the kitchen, arms crossed, staring out the window like she was trying to focus on anything but me. I was at the table, knuckles white around a beer I wasn't drinking. Then she said it. "You don't trust me." "No," I answered, plain and hard. "Not like I used to." She turned around, slow. "So what now? I'm not allowed to speak to another man without your permission?" "You're allowed to do whatever the hell you want, Jess. But so am I. And I'm allowed to feel it when the hairs on the back of my neck stand up." She threw her hands in the air. "I can't keep apologizing for a thing I haven't done. You think I'm mad about Colton? No. I'm mad that you knew how it would look, and did it anyway." Silence. Then came the worst sound I ever heard from her. A laugh. Cold. Flat. Empty. "Brad, you want me to live like a nun now? Avoid eye contact? Wear blinders? You say you forgave me, but you're treating me like a parolee on house arrest." My chair scraped back. "Forgiveness ain't amnesia, Jess. You act like we're starting over, but I'm still bleeding. Just 'cause the bandage looks clean doesn't mean the wound healed." She stepped forward, eyes glassy. "Then why the hell did you stay?" I stood too. "Because I loved you." "Loved?" she echoed. Silence. Like a punch with no sound. I swallowed. "I don't know if I still do. Not the way I used to." That landed. She didn't cry. She just nodded. And whispered, "Then maybe it's time we both ask ourselves if this thing we're holding on to is love, or just fear of losing what's already gone." I slept on the couch with a blanket that smelled like dog shampoo and old apologies. Jess didn't sleep at all. I could hear her moving through the house barefoot, living room, bathroom, kitchen, then silence again. By morning, she was gone. There was a note on the fridge. Just 2 lines. "I need to breathe. I'll be back. Don't call." No heart. No smiley face. Not even a period. I sat at the table, chewing dry toast, thinking this might be the most honest breakfast I've ever had. No butter. No small talk. No fake, "Sleep good, honey." I didn't call. Though I wanted to. God, I wanted to. I typed her number 3 times. Deleted it 3 times. Instead, I went to the garage. Fired up the old Chevy. No destination. Just drove. Out past the soybean fields, down by the marsh, anywhere that wasn't inside that house. Then my phone rang. Earl. Hey, I think I just saw Jess at that bookstore cafe, sittin' with some guy wearin' a hat. My chest seized up like a locked brake. You sure it wasn't Colton? I asked through clenched teeth. Nah. This guy was taller. Older. Holden, her coat. Looked kinda fatherly. Beat of silence. Brad, that was her dad. He's in town. She told you last week, remember? It hit me like a truckload of bricks. I'd spent all morning simmering in my own suspicions, inventing betrayal, loading my heart like a shotgun. And she was just having coffee with her father. I wasn't just a hurt husband anymore. I was chasing ghosts I'd built myself. And for the first time in this whole mess, I wasn't afraid of losing her. I was afraid of who I was becoming. She came back just after dark. Didn't slam the door. Didn't tiptoe either. Just walked in like she used to, when things were easy and we still left porch lights on for each other without thinking. I was sittin' at the kitchen table, same place I'd been all damn day. Cold coffee. Empty plate. Heart somewhere near my boots. She stood in the doorway, arms crossed, jacket half-zipped, cheeks red from the wind or maybe the weight of what we hadn't said. I had lunch with my dad, she said flat. I know. She tilted her head. Earl? Yep. She didn't smile. Just nodded once, like that settled something inside her. I knew what you were thinking, she added. I could feel it before I left the house. I looked up, finally. Yeah, well. You gave me reason. I gave you reason once, she shot back. You've been living like every shadow's got a face since then. I'm trying, Jess. But trust don't grow back like a weed. It's more like bone. Slow. And it hurts the whole damn time. She sat down across from me. Not close. Not far. Just at that old polite distance where couples go when they're relearning how to breathe in the same room. I thought about not coming back, she admitted. My jaw tightened. But then I remembered what you said. About wanting to eat pancakes with me when we're 80. I blinked. Hard. You remember that? She nodded. Burnt or not. For a second, we just sat there. No yelling. No confessions. Just two people too tired to fight, but not tired enough to quit. She reached out. Slowly. Hand hovered near mine like a question with no punctuation. And I took it. Not because it was easy. Not because it was fixed. But because it still felt like home. Things got quiet after that. Not awkward quiet. Not tension quiet. Just slow, like a truck easing back onto the road after a near miss. We started talking again, little things. Groceries. Weather. The neighbor's dog that kept peeing on our garden hose. No big speeches. No late-night soul-bearing. But I'd catch her looking at me sometimes, like she was checking to see if I was still here. And truth is, I wasn't sure myself. One day, I got back from a local run, stepped into the house, and there it was, vanilla lavender. That damn candle. I stood in the doorway, heart hammering like it was day one again. She walked in behind me, carrying 2 bags of frozen peas, casual as ever. You lit that candle, I said. She didn't even blink. Yeah. It's just a scent, Brad. It doesn't mean anything. It used to mean everything, I shot back. That smell, it's stitched into the worst night of my life. She paused, then set the bags down. Then let's reclaim it. Rewire the smell. I'm not a circuit board, Jess. No, she said gently. But you are stuck. I turned away, jaw tight. You know I've been tryin'. I've been here. Showin' up. Talkin'. Not runnin'. She stepped closer. You're tryin'. I see that. But there's one thing I haven't told you. My back stiffened. What now? She swallowed. Colton, he texted me last week. My eyes snapped to hers. He asked if I was happy. That's all. I didn't answer. I deleted it. Silence. She stepped even closer. I didn't tell you because I was afraid it would send you right back into that fire. You should have told me, I said, voice low. I know. And I might have broken a plate. I would have ducked. We both smiled. Small. Sad. She reached up, touched my shoulder. I'm still choosin' you, Brad. I looked at her. And for the first time in weeks, I believed her. Even if it still hurt. It was a Thursday when the crack turned into a window. She made chicken pot pie, her real one, not the frozen kind. Used that old scratched-up blue pie dish she swore she'd throw out years ago. Said she couldn't bring herself to do it. Kinda like us, I muttered, setting the table. She smirked. What, crusty and unstable? Exactly. We ate in near silence, but it wasn't heavy. It was the kind of silence you earn, after storms, after screaming, when all that's left is breathin', in the same room and not flinchin'. Halfway through the meal, I put down my fork and looked at her. I think I stopped lovin' you for a bit. She didn't react. Just chewed, swallowed, took a sip of water. Then set her glass down real careful. I know, she said. You did? I could feel it. In the way you stopped saying my name like it mattered. I stared at the plate. It scared the hell out of me. Not the anger. The indifference. Wakin' up beside you and feelin' like a roommate. Like I'd been outsourced. She nodded. I felt the same. Like I'd become furniture with opinions. I laughed, choked up. A very loud lamp. A lamp with excellent calves. We both smiled then. Wide. Honest. I reached across the table, hand flat, open. I'm not gonna pretend this thing isn't cracked down the middle. But I'm willin' to glue it. If you are. She took my hand. I am. Even if it leaks. Good. Then we'll just mop around it. We didn't say I love you. We didn't need to. That pie? It was the best damn thing I'd tasted in months. Not 'cause of the crust. Not 'cause of the spices. Because it was the first meal in a long time that didn't taste like a lie. Storm rolled in 2 days later. Not the emotional kind, a real one. Thunder, sideways rain, sky looking like it was ready to split open and tell God secrets. Power cut out around 9. We lit candles. Not the lavender one, Jess knew better now. We sat on the couch, close, warm, listening to the storm talk louder than either of us had in weeks. There was something peaceful about it, like the weather was giving us permission to stop fixin' and just be. Then, out of nowhere, Jess said. Do you ever think about what would have happened if I'd told you the truth sooner? I looked at her, cautious. You mean back then? She nodded. Before the dryer. Before Rick. Before the whole damn parade. I exhaled slow. Yeah. Sometimes. What do you think would have happened? I paused. Thought hard. I think we still would have broken. Just slower. Quieter. Like a roof sagged in till it caves. She nodded. That's fair. Rain slammed against the windows like applause from ghosts. Then she turned, looked me dead in the eye. Do you still want to be married to me, Brad? That one hit different. Not because I hadn't thought about it, I had. 100 times. But hearing it. From her. In that voice. Calm. Brave. No drama, no tears. Just, the question. I didn't answer right away. I stood, walked to the window, watched the lightning split the sky like a cracked promise. Then I turned around, walked back, sat beside her again. I want to be married to the version of us that tells the truth. That fights. That burns pancakes and still sits at the table anyway. She tilted her head. And me? You, I said, are the hardest road I've ever loved drivin'. She leaned in. That a yes? That's a hell yes. And outside, the storm kept on ragin'. But inside? We were still holdin'. Sun came up soft the next morning, like it was afraid to wake us too fast. The rain had washed everything clean, streets, leaves, even the way the house felt. Quiet, but not tense. Just, settled. Jess was in the kitchen, barefoot, hair wild, hummin' that old Conway Twitty song she only ever hummed when she was at peace. I leaned against the doorframe, watchin' her. She turned, caught me starin'. What? She said, smilin'. Nothin'. Just lookin' at my wife. She rolled her eyes, poured coffee into my favorite mug, the one that says, "Don't talk to me till I've had 6 cups and a nap." I sat at the table, sippin', slow. You remember when we thought love meant never screwin' up? I asked. She laughed. Yeah. We were so cute. And dumb. Well, I still screw up. Regularly. She nodded. Same. Silence fell between us, but it wasn't empty. It was full, of things we didn't need to say anymore. I reached across the table, grabbed her hand. You know I still love you, right? She squeezed back. I know. And I love you, too. I nodded. Not 'cause you're perfect. Lord knows you ain't. Oh, thanks, she said, mock offended. But because you're mine. And I'm yours. And we've been through more than some people survive. True. I stay, I said, not because I forgot what happened. But because even with all that, I still want to see you fall asleep on the couch with your mouth open. She laughed hard. You're disgusting. Yeah, I grinned. But I'm your disgusting. Then she stood, walked over, wrapped her arms around my shoulders from behind. And whispered, let's grow old messily, Brad. With burnt food and too much laundry and 1,000 second chances. I closed my eyes. That's the only way I know how.